Good morning, Dr. Arden. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well. So good to see you finally. Yeah, so I know a lot about you, but I think I'll be happy for you to introduce more about what you do. And
Yeah. I've been practicing. I've been in this business since I was a kid. So since I was 14 years old, I was involved in the veterinary medicine. I never veered off. I always wanted to be a veterinarian, and I love it. And so I was practicing for about 17 years. And then throughout that journey, I got my master's, my MBA degree, and then let's see, I work right now. I'm on the board for. So there's the American Veterinary Medical Association, and so I'm on the board for a New Jersey Veterinary Medical Association, which is cool. I'm the treasurer. So I deal a little bit with organized medicine. And then I also deal with some of the multimedia platforms. I did some shelter medicine work, relief work. And then I do some videos of dogs that need homes, educational videos. And it rolled into this newer position where they sought me out to work for a veterinary multimedia company that oversees something such as DVM 360. There's something called Fetch conferences. We partner with other conferences, Clinicians Brief, vet shows, North American vet conferences. So I have like my own talk show and so many different things, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I still get to practice, so I practice on the weekends. But
right.
yeah, I love
And
it.
I also know that you love working out. You like staying
I do.
fit.
my my number one passion is like staying fit, and in veterinary medicine there's really important about, I'm sure you know, about like self-care and work-life balance and all those things. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so working out is my favorite thing. I absolutely love it. I have a husband, Chris. We've been together for 17 years, and we got married 3 years ago. And so he works for a life insurance company. And then, it's so funny how like we ended up having dachshunds. I remember being on my rotation in vet school in neurology, and I just was really drawn to I love neurology. And so dealing with dogs with rehabilitation, and it tends to be like these long back dogs because they tend to have problems. So I remember saying like, I think our paths are going to cross. I love this breed so much. And then when I started practicing, it ended up being where, one after the other after the other. So,
I'm sure. I think that's what they do to us, right? You bring
yeah,
the pet home, and then you just don't know how the journey moves forward.
right. Yes. I foster, and then like we end up owning them.
Right, right. So, I mean, it's been pretty similar for me as well. I brought home a golden retriever about a few years ago, about 4 years
I
ago.
love them. Mm.
And yeah, and then that's when I experienced the industry as a pet parent and realized that there's so much of a disconnect in terms of information and in terms of curated information. We have excess information, but it's not curated, right?
Yes.
And every step there is a challenge in terms of finding the right boarding center, finding the right vet, getting the
Yeah.
right information. So that's how I started my entrepreneurial journey. And I mean, I think I absolutely love it. I'm also taking it the way it comes.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been great.
Oh, are you a veterinarian or no? Are you not? Or
I am married.
are you no veterinarian? Are you a vet too or
I'm
no?
not a vet. No, no,
Oh,
I'm not a vet. No,
okay. No. Okay.
I'm sorry, I
Um.
got it wrong. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not a vet. I'm a business grad by qualification, and
Okay.
yeah, and then I worked across different companies in the marketing and business development space, um, and now I do what I do.
Yeah. This is great. So, did you create Float then? Are you the curator of Float? Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I wouldn't take the credit all by myself. I have a great team here, which includes Aditya. And yeah, and we are a group of people, like everybody in the team has been a pet parent themselves or a pet sibling, and they
Mhm.
kind of understand what it means to love pets. So running a company in the pet space just becomes easier, and it comes as a very inherited quality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good though. Well, I mean, listen, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry too, the pet industry. So, but the fact that you genuinely love the animals and understand that human-animal bond, I mean, that's unparalleled. So that's really good.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I also know that you are on the board of a lot of organizations which do some great animal work.
Yes, I am. So I think that's always good. Like I always love collaborating and helping in any way that I can. So, and like our platform, for instance, on DVM 360 is that go-to source. Like you were just talking about, like good information for veterinarians and veterinary support teams. That DVM 360 is. So that's something that I'm sure that you would want for Float to be your go-to resource for that,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. So have you, let me ask you this. Have you ever explored the Indian pet industry?
I haven't. I've been approached when I was practicing, but I was just too busy. But now that I'm in this role, now I can.
I think we'll keep this, I will keep it secret, as a secret between you and me. I don't want to let anybody else know that you are interested in the Indian space.
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. I really do. And anything that I can do to help, with the pet parent experience and knowledge, veterinary care, let me know. I'm here for you.
I mean, yes. I mean, there is so much that we need help with. But I think it'll just be a little too much if I ask you all the questions right on our first interactions. I'm going to take it in bits and pieces.
Sure.
But today's conversation, which we are doing right now, is more for me to understand about you, about your your company and your role in the industry.
So the other thing to keep in mind too is I have a lot of connections in the veterinary industry, which is helpful. It really is. So for instance, we needed to put together a very quick conference, a virtual conference, and I did it in a matter of 2 days of just calling some of my friends up and said, hey, I need you to speak here. I need you to do this. And so I do know a lot of people that are influencers, which is good. So we do webinar platforms. I'm familiar with all different types of platforms that are out there in the space. So that helps you, I'm sure, too. And then I teach too. So I teach veterinary technicians and assistants. So I'm all about education and especially the support staff. So hospital managers, customer service training, internal customer service training, and external. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I can always bring to service for you guys. So yeah.
Thank you. That is really kind of you, and it gives me a lot of confidence. Just to know that you're there for any information that we need. Thank you for that. So yeah. So that's where our constant efforts are, and that's an area where we really, really seek support in any way possible.
What are your thoughts? I'm just thinking, brainstorming as you're telling me this, because we do a lot of continuing education platforms on our services. So if there's a way that we can connect you guys to that, so that way, like say you have 19 services that you need certification for, we can help provide you with that platform essentially. I think I'm just thinking, right? Like, so that way your veterinarians or whoever, would be interested, we can help kind of get you up to speed with that. Now we have something, and I don't know what it is, and I have to look it up for you for India, because we have something called RACE accreditation. Have you heard of that? Like your continuing education credits?
Yeah.
So I'm sure like your veterinarians and support staff, they probably need something like that, right? Does that sound familiar?
So to be honest, there are two kinds of veterinary doctors in India. One are the government doctors and the private doctors. So I need to do a little bit of research to see whether veterinary doctors are keen on upgrading themselves or if they're just too comfortable with where they are, right? And I think they also come with a lot of rules and regulations to do with especially the government doctors. But whatever you said now definitely makes sense for all the other pet care services, if I may say, minus the healthcare, right? Which includes dog walking, pet sitting, grooming, nutrition. I can send you the list.
Yeah, send me the list so that way I have an idea. If there's a way you can maybe write that up for me so I have an idea, yeah, that would be great. So like a little bit information about like Float and what you're just talking about, because I could do some research on my end to see what we can do collaboratively to help get you where you need to be.
Absolutely. I'll do that.
Okay, cool. That would be good. Because yeah, I'm thinking like if we could provide it on our end and it just makes it easier for you, where we provide a course, let's just say, and whether it be like a 1 hour course where they can get a certificate right afterwards, that would be neat. That would be cool.
Yep.
So, okay, cool.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm also interested in the conference that you spoke about, and I'll be happy to be a part of your show and talk about the Indian pet industry and give all the statistics, which could be interesting for your viewers.
Yes, definitely.
I'm going to put it back to you and say, how can I help you? Is there any way
Yeah,
we can help you from India? I've
yeah.
been seeking help, but I think it's time I give something in return.
No, absolutely. Well, I think having so we have that website, the DVM 360. So we do these interviews every now and then, and it's just like 10-minute interviews, just like this, literally like a Zoom interview, and then we put it up on DVM 360. So that would be fun to do, just to kind of educate the public. And then we do have webinars that we provide too. So I'm always looking for speakers, that are veterinarians that might be interested in providing some education talks on it. So there's that component. But yeah, I mean, maybe an education library is what we might be able to consider to work together on. I just have to talk to my company and see what we can do for you guys.
Absolutely. I'll be interested in any way. You'll hardly see me say, no, I don't think this was going to work, because in India, we're at a stage where we're exploring and discovering a lot of opportunities which have not been there so far, which is
Right.
why the journey is so exciting for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I visited US last year, I was there for about a month, and it's just amazing to see how pets are treated there and the
Yeah.
quality of pet care that's available. And the only question I had is, in India, we're no different in terms of the thought process anymore. What stops us from having that kind of a quality, right? So that's where I think we can play. We can have a great collaboration in that sense.
And just even you can interview me and we can talk about the pet parent experience and what we're doing in our country that shows appreciation and like how strong the human animal bond is. I mean, listen, there are classes on the human animal bond. So, just educating, the public about that too, and just making them aware. And then also talking about preventive medicine, about spaying and neutering, and the importance of overpopulation in animals. So, there's that too. So
That's
yeah, good stuff.
yeah.
So put together something for me so that I have, something I can, look at and read. Okay, are you ready? Get ready for this. So it's literally the first letter of my name. So it's A Christman.
Uh-huh.
So A, and
Right.
and at MJH
Uh-huh.
Life Sciences, it's all together.com. So MJH Life Sciences.
Sure.
And that's our website too. Like if you do a search, you can look it up too and see that.
So, yeah. So sometimes I just look at my parents and I'm like, I regret that I did not grow up with a pet, because now that we have one, I know how it feels. And looking back, it just feels like, you lost so many years of your life without having a pet. Like, it's a real loss.
It teaches you how to be selfless. It really does. And it teaches you how to be a great human being and being kind to one another. I do like school days and career days, all those things, just to teach them that.
Absolutely. I think we always pay forward. That's what we can do.
That's what I love about this profession.
Yeah, I'm sure pet parents react very differently from human parents, human kid parents.
Yes. I always consider myself a pediatrician. So you really are. You're a pediatrician for these guys. And the younger generation of pet owners in the United States, they're very obsessed. The pendulum has shifted, just like we were talking about. It used to be, let's get married, let's have kids, let's have a dog. It's the reverse. It's let's have a dog, maybe we'll get married, maybe we'll have a kid.
In fact, I should add on to this. My boy Charlie does not seem to like kids. He just does not like kids. So both me and my husband, we're like, maybe we can't have kids because he does not like them.
Right. Yes. It's so funny. But regardless of culture, regardless of where you live, China, India, Japan, Russia, United States, animals are animals, and they will love you unconditionally. They don't care your color, who you love, right? They don't care what you love, who you love. They just have that unconditional love that's unspoken.
I think in the entire conversation, what you said just now is going to be the highlight of the conversation. And I'm going to carry that forward and use that as part of my, talk with anybody else.
Yes,
That
awesome.
makes so much sense.
Yes, it really does. It really does. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Adam. Thank you so much for taking your time out. I know you've been very busy, but I just hope this calls for a great collaboration together.
Yes,
And I
absolutely. Let's
want
keep
you
it
to know
confidential.
and remember that in India, we really look up to people like you and
Oh,
anybody in the US to support us to get to that standard, right? We can get there for sure.
I'll be happy to help you guys out.
Absolutely. We just need the right set of people and guidance for us to be able to get there. And before we end the conversation, I'm not going to let you go without showing me your kid's photo, which is right
Oh
behind.
yeah. Wait, I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you one of them. Hold on 1 second. I got to bring it to you. Hold on. 2 of the 4.
I don't think I was this excited to see you. I was so excited to see them.
Yeah. Here they are. So aren't they beautiful?
They
So
are. Oh,
this
look
is
at them.
Carl.
I'm sorry, this is
This one's Carl, the blonde one,
Coral.
and then this is Clark.
Work.
Clark. Yeah. So they're wire hair dachshunds. So
They're
let's see,
adorable.
how cute are they? I can't even take it.
Hi, baby.
I love them. They love each other. Yeah.
The
So
little ones don't know how far away I am, yet I'm getting to see them thanks to technology.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you
Well,
so much for bringing them.
my
And
pleasure, of course.
yeah, and my love to the other two. I haven't
Yes,
forgotten the other two, but I
of course.
respect their choice to stay away
Yeah,
from you.
yeah. They're good. They're sleeping away. So yeah.
Take care, Adam. Thank you.
All right.
Stay
Thank you
touched,
so
stay
much.
connected.
Yes. Stay in touch. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.